Welcome back for another video. The Roundup is a series on this channel that arms you with useful information to take into each game week to arrive at better decisions. This includes the top players for predicted points, the bookies odds, transfer trends and more. An accumulation of smaller but correct decisions can have a significant impact over the course of the season. If you find today's video useful, hit like on it to support the channel. I read every comment, so let me know what you thought of the Gameweek Roundup below. Just before we jump in, today's video is sponsored by Pouch, which is a free desktop browser extension that automatically finds and applies the best discount codes when you're shopping online. It's one of those few browser extensions that are absolute no-brainers to have installed. For example, I was shopping on the Adidas website for boots earlier, and when I got to checkout it popped up and suggested some codes to try. As you can see, it automatically tries the codes, which worked and saved me about 25 quid on the order. Pouch works on over 3,000 UK sites, which is more than any other similar add-ons. I shop at ASOS, eBay and Adidas, all three of which are covered. They've also just launched Pouch Points. The way they work is while you shop online you earn points which can then be redeemed for gift cards. It takes just a couple of clicks to install and make sure it's pinned to your browser. A huge thank you to Pouch for supporting the channel, and you can support the channel too by getting it for free right now. Click the link at the top of the description. We'll start with the Goalscorer Odds, and the odds given are always based on the assumption that the player starts, and this is sometimes not the case. Ronaldo tops the Goalscorer Odds, given a 40.5% chance of scoring any time for the match at home against West Ham. The Hammers are enjoying another good season overall, but defensively have underperformed. Over the last 6 game weeks, West Ham are rock bottom for expected goals conceded on 10.27 XGC. Jota is second for the away game against Crystal Palace. This could be Jota's last match before the return of Salah and Mane, so owners will be hopeful he can repay the faith. Lacazette, Sterling and Bamford are all third with a 37% chance of scoring any time. Arsenal host Burnley this weekend, and over the last 6 game weeks they're 5th highest for expected goals. Bamford didn't make the Leeds matchday squad last game week, so we'll have to see what Bielsa says in his conference. If he makes this match, it will certainly be a boost for Rafinha owners too. Leeds host Newcastle at Allen Road, and Rafinha makes the top 10 with a 32.5% chance. Onto the clean sheet odds, and Man City are top this game week with a 49.5% chance for their match against Southampton. City have looked a level above this season both offensively and defensively. Cancelo is heavily owned in their defence, followed by Diaz on 28% ownership. However, Laporte could turn out the better option between the two centre-backs, just 6.2% owned. He's played the full 90 in the last 10 in a row, and Pep tends to favour having a left-footed centre-back paired with a right-footed one, which leaves him and Ake as the only two options. Arsenal was second on the clean sheet odds with a 47% chance and are expected to be able to play this one after postponing the Gameweek 22 fixture against Tottenham. Chelsea have a 42% chance of shutting Spurs out, who will be more rested ahead of this weekend's game. However, it's 6 games since Chelsea's last clean sheet. Wolves have a 37.5% chance for their match against Brentford, and Ait-Nouri looks a real diamond in the rough for only 4.3 mil. He returned from injury in Gameweek 22 and got 2 assists for an 11-pointer. Wolves have looked very solid defensively, and other players such as Cody and Semedo look like decent enablers too. Duncan Ferguson takes charge as interim manager for Everton's match against Aston Villa at home. Some of our teams are hungover from Everton's Fulls double game week, so if you're forced to start the likes of Keane, then Everton have a 27.5% chance, as do Aston Villa. Rock bottom this game week is Southampton with a 9.5% chance of shutting Man City out, followed by Crystal Palace and Burnley, who face Liverpool and Arsenal respectively. Onto the predicted points for Gameweek 23. FPL Review's algorithm has factored in the possibility of an Aston Villa double game week, which isn't yet confirmed. With that in mind, Ollie Watkins is top as it stands on 6.4 predicted points. His new teammate Coutinho is second on 6.1 and had a dream debut scoring off the bench for Villa against Man United. His best score in FPL season finished at 171 points, so he's certainly one to keep on the watch list for only 7 mil. However, the fixtures look good enough to move now if you fancy the differential punt. Rafinha is third on 6.0 predicted points for the Newcastle match. He was very unlucky not to come away with more last game week, rattling the bar and having an assist chalked off due to offside. Jota was the biggest XG underperformer for Gameweek 22, failing to score despite an XG of 0.85. He makes the top 10 on 4.9 predicted points. Foden looks in line for another start, and you'd imagine Sterling too, with Mahrez still away at AFCON, which is one less player competing. Him and Josh King have both been given 4.7 predicted points. Onto the most transferred players, and well over 300,000 managers have already picked up Coutinho. He's a big exciting signing, and he got off to a great start in Gameweek 22 and could be in line for a start in Gameweek 23. Bowen is now on 6 goals and 12 assists for the season, and over 150,000 managers have picked him up already. He's upped his game this season and could realistically come away with a return against Man United, though beyond that the fixtures look good with Watford, Leicester and Newcastle to follow. De Bruyne makes the top 10. He started the last 6 in a row and over that period he has 4 goals and an assist. Stick around for the end of the video for the Captain Poll results as we look at who the FPL community have put the armband on this game week. We discussed the Wolves defence earlier, and Cody's another player who looks like a great enabler for only 4.6 mil. They've only conceded 1 goal in their last 4 games and kept 3 clean sheets over that period. Over 60,000 picked up Bruno after his haul in the double game week, though it might be too late to the party unless you've got room to squeeze both him and Salah in, who could be back in Gameweek 24. Trent has 2 goals, 10 assists and 10 clean sheets this season. If you don't own him already, you leave yourself unnecessarily exposed as he's shown us this season what he's capable of, hitting double-digit points 6 times. However, with the Liverpool assets, it's important to also be mindful of their blank Gameweek 27. It'll be important to have players that you can rotate in there, especially considering many of us are doubled or tripled up. On to the most transferred out, and the top 2 once again are Son and Salah, with over 200,000 selling them both. There's actually a fair chance the 2 of them could be back in time for Gameweek 24, which comes just after the international break. Reece James and Livramento continue to be mass sold, unsurprisingly due to their injuries. 58,000 have dropped Saka, who could be back in time for the Burnley match, which looks a great fixture for the Arsenal attackers based on the bookies' odds. Arsenal face Liverpool in the League Cup before Gameweek 23, which will give a clearer picture of their availability. Bernardo makes the top 10 too, whose numbers have dropped off with just a single assist in his last 6 games. Foden, Sterling and De Bruyne all look like better City attackers to own if you can stretch your budget. Benrahma's been dropped by over 55,000 managers who's currently away at AFCON. Although he's not been a good pick as of late, it's important to be conscious of players returning, as most players are expected to be back for Gameweek 24, including the likes of Salah, Mahrez, Mane, Iheanacho and Cornet. Although some returning players may not be assets you're considering for your team, it's also important to consider the effect their return could have on their teammates and assets you might own, such as Jota. Burnley now have 5 postponements to rearrange, so Cornet could become an intriguing punt once the games start getting rearranged. We'll finish the roundup as always with the Captaincy Poll results. Thanks to everyone who voted on the poll on our Discord. If you'd like to join, a link's in the description. The results are in and they are as follows. It's the most divided game week we've ever had for captaincy. De Bruyne leads with 18.3% of the vote, followed by Cancelo with 16.7%. The Liverpool lads Trent and Jota get 15.6% and 8.7% of the vote respectively. Elsewhere, a wide spread of votes for Watkins, Rafinha, Bruno and others. It's an exciting game for captaincy as there's higher upside if you know your captaincy, unless of course all the other picks perform equally well. It's very rare that we get such a huge spread of options available, and it looks like a tough game week to predict which players are the best picks. For now, that concludes this game week's episode of the Roundup. A big thank you again to Pouch for sponsoring today's video. If you'd like to support the channel, download Pouch using the link in the description. If you found this video useful, please drop it a like and hit subscribe if you're new. I read every comment, so as always I'm keen to hear your thoughts.